Welcome to Expert Mode, where we don't believe in censorship, on-disc DLC, or refraining from making a legitimate single-player campaign for any of your games and then turning around and making them again just so you can use it as a marketing tactic. Well, I guess the third point gives away the subject of what this video is about, huh? I'll admit taking the piss out of a publishing company that believes the pinnacle of entertainment is walking around with an LMG in one hand and a football in the other does get really fun, but I also am aware that some people might get tired of it after a while. Titanfall's flamboyantly promoted sequel hogged quite a fair bit of attention during EA's press conference opening, and I would be lying through my creviced yellow teeth if I said at least some of it didn't look extraordinarily badass. There are new upgrades you can equip to your Titans, including bladed weapons and a few other tons of arsenal equipment we all saw in the trailer. But I feel like for me, the announcement soon turned from nut busting to gut busting when I realized exactly what Electronic Arts was doing, touting the embellishment of a single-player campaign in addition to a once-only multiplayer game is extracting the exact reaction from people that I predicted, which was to simply look at it in veneration because of all the new features. Okay, see, here's the thing. I don't think a lot of people actually have that much of a quarrel with exclusively multiplayer games. The idea of it I think would work pretty well. Sacrificing the solo campaign for the sake of beefing up other areas of content, such as the multiplayer experience, could work flawlessly, if not abused by companies and pumped up with microtransactions instead of actual content, but we've already crossed that bridge, set it on fire, and pissed on the ashes. As long as extra effort and resources are plugged into the ins and outs of multiplayer, I still wouldn't have a problem with it if I felt like I was getting my full $60 from the purchase. But if you're already malnourishing your game by writing out the single-player content and not doing anything in return for it, then that's when it becomes a dangerous malpractice. You're giving us a DLC at best that may go for a sticker price of $20 and slapping it on the shelf as a full-price release. So now the following result is getting ripped out of a full game, as well as about $40, only for EA to come along and say they were wrong and they made a mistake. And hey, look at that, we're introducing a single-player campaign for Titanfall 2. Look fans, we think about your interests too. When the disappointing thing is, no one really asked for Titanfall 2 because anyone who may have given half of a slimy wet fuck about your game learned their lesson after playing Titanfall 1. Even FIFA is being beefed up with the story mode now. Is it really that much of a taboo thing to just have enjoyable single-player content in your game as a necessity and a requirement? Are we separating ourselves that much from our roots when all we did was bury our face in the screen alone in our dimly lit rooms, and the only way we could play online with friends was by sharing the screen and maybe even a controller? I was watching Jimquisition earlier this week. Yes, maybe I will marry Jimquisition, shut the fuck up. And he made a couple points that I resonate with. The reason a considerable sum of us even got into games in the first place was because we bonded with a variety of games and how they spoke to us, and exclusively us. They had a comprehensible story, character development, or at least, most of them did. There's a reason people talk more about games like Dark Souls or Mass Effect than they do Titanfall or the new Battlefront, because there's simply nothing to talk about with the latter. With a new story and a deeper personality behind the mechs you're controlling in Titanfall 2, it's obviously going to do nothing to bring attention to the fact that Titanfall's sequel will be more layered in both content and story. But that's the thing. By taking it away from the first game, everyone is suddenly busting their fucking ballsack over the fact that you'll actually be able to play alone and with an enticing narrative, when it should be a given rite of passage for any decent game to have one. A single-player campaign should not be a prime focal point of your marketing scheme. At the very least, if you're going to take something like that out, make the multiplayer not as, well, watered down. I don't feel like we're getting anything worth the full price when all we're playing is malnourished multiplayer content, this rinse and repeat bullshit with limited playability and pay-to-win transactions. So you can imagine my frustration when publishing companies get away with announcing stunts like this just to make their games look more layered and lengthened than they really are. They're good at putting up that facade that says, look at how much time we spent on these new games. We care about what the fans want, see? Look at how delivering we are with that our new story modes and new gun skins you can impress your friends with. No one even actually knows what the free DLC is. All we know is that there has been one announced and it has to do with Titanfall 2. And suddenly EA has people bending over and asking for it gently just because they're giving something away that probably won't even be of much notable quality. The sheer shock value of EA emptying their resources for free have taken so many people aback that people won't even think twice about what it actually is. They're just letting themselves be impressed with EA's hidden benevolence and once-in-a-blue-moon generosity. Titanfall 2 was something nobody asked for, but to be honest, we like to be told what we want in video games. Why else would multiplayer suddenly become such a huge regime without any sort of numbers or facts to back up the assumptions that people actually play them? As always, please share this video around if you have a friend that's as pissed off about the industry as I am. Like and subscribe if you want to see more, and I'll see you next time.